So last episode we built a beautiful iron farm that is getting us immense amounts of iron by washing gravel. We also fleshed out our foundry, made sure that we had all the machines that we needed. We have a crushing wheel, we have storage, a smelter, and a cooker for kelp. And this episode we are going to look at a couple of things because I have noticed in my world that I have a couple of problems actually. And first of all, you might see behind me that I have made some slight adjustments to the way that my workshop looks. I've also made some adjustments to the way that it works. So currently all of these are powered. I'll just show you in the back. They are powered and the power is going very, very quickly. So to combat this very, very quick power, what I have done is I have set switches to all of them. So if I just use the slicer as an example, we can turn that on and it goes very, very fast. But the second I switch anything else on, I can have two things on at once and it can work. However, I cannot have three things. So I think this is going to be much better because overall things are going to go a lot quicker. We have also put in a deployer. So now we can strip logs, deploy andesite alloy onto them, and andesite alloy can be made in the mixer over here. We can also make iron sheets. But we have a couple of problems in the world. You can see that our iron farm is doing incredible work. It's looking beautiful. And if we just head on inside of the iron farm, you can see that we are getting fair amounts of iron, but it's mostly flint. So that's the first problem that I want to address in the world. And I will get to what all of the problems are. But the first problem is I don't need this much flint. At 22,000 flint, that's already far too much. Who needs that much flint? However, one thing that I have noticed is useful about flint, it doesn't have a lot of uses, but there is one use. You can compact it into granite or diorite. So compacting it into different stones, especially andesite, you can compact it into the non-stone stone variants. So we can have an andesite farm stemming from the results of our iron farm. Now, the first problem that I wanted to address was getting a void upgrade for this flint drawer. So that needs 8 obsidian. Currently, we have 2. So we need to go out and find a little bit of obsidian. However, that is not the only problem that I want to address in this episode. Another problem that I want to address is mining. We built an elevator. So I'll just give you a rundown of how the elevator works. So we can go to level 2. Basically, we built an elevator that can get us some mining. So that's a problem that we need to address, is our lack of resources. Another problem that we need to address after we have addressed the flint problem is we don't have any food. We have a serious lack of food in the world. So one of the main focuses of this episode, we are going to get a void upgrade for the flint. We are going to have a look at the elevator and get some mining done. And we are going to get a crop farm of some sort built so that we can have food. And I'm thinking potatoes are going to be the best bet. They're really good in saturation. They're really easy to farm. And one other thing that I wanted to address is actually our living situation. Now, we have a wonderful workshop, a beautiful iron farm, a fantastic foundry, and we still live in a tent. How have we not built a house yet? I have an elevator going to bedrock, and I don't have a house. We're going to address that as well. We're going to build ourselves a house, get a void upgrade for the flint drawer, get ourselves mining down the elevator shaft, and get ourselves a food setup. So that is a lot to do this episode. We have so many tasks ahead of us. Either way, we have a lot to get on with. I don't have time to be sat here chit-chatting. So I'm going to get on with it. I'm going to go find some obsidian so that we can do the void upgrade for the flint drawer. I mean, 23,000 flint is just outrageous. And I think we can grab a little bit of this obsidian here. And I think 22 obsidian is going to do us just fine for now. We only really need the one void upgrade. Perfect. And now that we have that obsidian collected, what we can do is we can make a void storage upgrade. So we do that by just surrounding a storage upgrade template with obsidian. And then we have the void upgrade. So as soon as the flint drawer gets full, anything further that gets deposited into the flint drawer will then just disappear. But anyway, that is one thing checked off. So I made a little clipboard to keep me on track, because I've noticed recently that I am not very good at staying on track of tasks. I end up deciding to do other things and I get distracted, and no, it's not a good idea. So I've made myself a little clipboard. You guys are probably going to see quite a lot of this clipboard in the coming few weeks. But Our next thing on here is a potato supply or a house, so we can actually choose which one. And just having a little fly around in free cam to see what we have around us, I think this area might actually be the best place for a house. So I think that's what I'm going to work on right now. We are going to focus on the house. I have a rough idea of how I want the house to look, but in general, it is going to go over there. So I'm going to grab myself a mechanical saw and a hand crank, get some trees taken down, and then do some digging. And I will see you guys when I have done most of that. I will let you guys see what kind of space we're working with. And while we're out here, I think it's probably a good idea to collect up a bunch of these ferns, just because I know that we're going to need them at some point to make some more slime. And I think something like this should do just fine. So I'll show you guys from free cam. We have this really nice flat area which kind of tapers in towards the valley. And then we have this sort of cascading round the build, which I think is going to look really good as a farm area or like a garden. I might even give you guys a little time lapse of what I'm going to be doing. So I think that is a good plan. So let's cue up some music and get building. And I think something just like this is going to do fantastic as our little starter house. There's still a little bit of work left to do. We have to texture up this top sort of stack that's coming out the top here. But other than that, I'm really happy with the way this turned out. All we need to do is get some stairs leading up and then get the inside done. We do need to finish off the roof over here, but that is absolutely fine. There's no issue with that at all. Yeah, other than that, it's just sort of fleshing out the interior. It is going to be a one-floor house, so I'm not really trying to go for 2 floors here. I am just going to keep it all on one level. I think that's probably in my opinion, it's a nicer option to have. It's just a starter house. It's just going to be where we kind of store our junk, have a little bit of stuff, and you can have a look underneath. This is going to be where the bulk of our junk storage is going to go. So we're just going to have a bunch of drawers. I might dig it down another level, or maybe another couple of levels and have like a basement type of thing. I don't know. But this is where our junk storage is going to be. So this is going to be everything, like the leftover fences that we have and everything like that is just going to go in here. And it's going to be nothing special, just some drawers, really, to make sure that we can keep everything organized. There we go. So I'm just going to get some stairs on here, and then I'll continue with the decorating, just make it look nice. Decorating is basically the name of the game here. But yeah, I'm going to continue with detailing the house. And yeah, I will see you guys when that is done. I think we have managed to snag ourselves quite a nice little house. And I think this is a great place to start our world. I mean, Obviously, I know that we've started quite a while ago, but look at this place. It's looking so pretty. It's such a home. It's so nice. I love it. I'm so excited to get everything sorted in here. I'm so excited to get the furniture in place and get the storage underneath. Everything is just going to look so beautiful. We have the outside storage area where you can actually use some of these barrels. Yep, there's a couple. There's 3 that are visible there. There might be another one. Yes, this one. So we do actually have outside storage. We have some potato and carrot crates. We almost used up the last of our carrots, but I just planted them over there in our little manual farm. We also have the little manual farm, which has been serving as our... Hold on, let me turn these shaders off. It's a little bit framey. Oh, much better. We have the storage area that's outside. That's going to be for sort of miscellaneous stuff, farming equipment. We have a few leaves dotted around. We have our flower pot on the outside, our 2 little lanterns to light up the front. We have a little staircase that leads up to our front door, and then I've just textured this wall lightly with different colors, different sort of levels, different levels of depth, and then we have some leaves scattered around as well, just to give the effect to some bushes. And overall, I think it gives a really nice feel to the house, and we have the spruce picket fence running around the outside. But I think I mentioned in the last clip that I have actually been looking at some other mods. And if I didn't mention it in the last clip, then, well, I'm a little bit stupid, but I will mention it in this clip regardless. I've been looking at a couple of other mods, and one of the other mods that doesn't come standard in this mod pack that I have been looking at is the Macaw's Furniture mod. So this actually gives us so many options for tables, desks, end tables, coffee tables, glass tables. We have chairs, modern chairs. We have drawer counters. So this is going to give us a perfect opportunity to make a fantastic kitchen once we get round to it. And just make the inside of this place feel as homey as the outside. Because inside, it's currently a little bit lacking. It's very empty. But that is something that is going to be left until a bit later on in the episode. We will come back to it at some point. But right now, I think we want to check off one of our next goals. So if I just pull out our clipboard, we have void upgrade for the flint drawer, done. We have starter house, we can tick that off, done. So now we just need a potato supply. So to get an automatic potato and carrot supply, I have decided that I want some carrots as well. To get that, I'm going to use this space next to my house. So you can see I've already got a few potatoes here, but nothing overly special. So I think what we are going to do is get a little farm going. We'll have a little path going up the middle. And we are going to get a contraption in here that is going to harvest us some potatoes and send them straight into the house. And my goal is to have those shot straight up into the pantry area so that we always have access to them. That'll be for carrots, potatoes, and then potentially for tomatoes and cabbage as well. Maybe some onions down the line if I can find some. But I think I've got tomato and cabbage seeds somewhere. I'm not 100% sure. But if not, we can go to a village and find some. But I think that is going to be our next project. So working on some sort of contraption that can get us a lot of potatoes and carrots. However, I don't want to disturb the growth of these. So I'm going to go off and do one of our little side quests just before we complete that. So it's not on the clipboard. It's not something that we have to complete today. But something that I wanted to complete was I wanted to have a look at creating a tunnel bore. Because you can see over there we have the elevator. I mentioned it earlier on this episode and we haven't really had a look at it. So my idea is to get a sort of tunnel bore built so that we can go down and start mining. And I think we should have all of the resources to build that right now. So if I just grab everything that I thought we might need. Perfect. So now I have everything that I think we will need for creating this contraption. So I do actually have a rough idea of what I want this to look like. So we need the plows here and here. So we're going to set that one to rail. And then this one is going to be set to anything that counts as a placeable block that can be collected while mining. So we'll include tuff in there as well. There we go. So we have all of our drills in place. And then we can place our item vaults on the back here. So we're going to have a big 3x3 vault, which should hold more than enough storage that we will need. There we go. So now they should both place at the same time. Very last thing that we need to add is a portable storage interface just there. So that is going to be our contraption totally finished. Yes! Okay. We have it fully ready to go. There we go. So if I give this a little bit of a nudge, this should get moving. It's picked up a couple of pieces of deep slate, but it is moving. Very loudly, might I add. So if I just chuck a couple of them in, it's actually doesn't have any redstone torches. There we go. Now it has redstone torches. Now it can move. Ooh, shiny. Ooh, more shiny. Okay, potentially we may need some more storage. So let's grab what we have and head back up to the surface, shall we? Now you see this is more like it. Mining on this level is where you want to be. I have already ran into some lava, which isn't ideal, but it is fine. Oh, and water somehow. What? Oh, we've run into a slime chunk. I think we have enough stuff. Oh, that is a really nice amount of diamonds that we have now. Right, now I suppose that mining is out of the way. We have a good amount of resources. We have a great amount of diamonds. So I think now we can start to focus on the farm. And I think what I want to do with the farm is I want to turn this space, this long space, into just 2 strips of farmland that we can harvest. And then we will ship all of the resources underground up into this little pantry area, which is where we're going to store all of our food. So we are going to section this off just into 2 for now. It's just going to be potatoes and carrots. And then we will add cabbage and potato. Cabbage and onion into the mix as well. And then we'll get tomatoes harvested somewhere else. I think I want a tomato, like, vineyard type thing going somewhere. But either way, we'll get this sorted now. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of all this farmland. And I want to harvest up all these potatoes because I'm sure they're all ready to be harvested. We have some carrots as well, so I just want to harvest everything up that's here. And then from there, we will get something built. I don't know if we want to do a little greenhouse or if we just want to leave it open. I think we will do a little bit of a greenhouse, so I'm going to need to get a lot of glass, and for that I'm going to need a lot of sand. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I might take some gravel over to the crushing wheel and just get a bunch of sand as well. And then we can smelt that into some glass. But yeah, I'm going to get rid of this and then we will go from there. Okay, so we finished gathering up some sand. I managed to smelt it all into some glass. So you can see we have all this glass up here. We have white, we have grey, and we have some clear. I think it's time that we make a start on this. So I think I want a greenhouse type of building. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear out some land and then we will get the rough crops in. So we'll just get the crop fields placed down. And then what I'll do from there is I will build a building around the crop fields, I think. That might be the easiest way for me to do it. Right, I think we are ready to get started. So I got myself some powered rails and a couple of controller rails. You'll see why we need those in just a second. We have our portable interface controller. We have some spruce trim to connect it up to the storage. We have some storage that's going to go on the contraption, some building blocks, our harvesters, and our minecart. And obviously, as always, we are carrying our contraption, our cart assembler, some redstone torches. We can make more of those. We will need more, but we can make more. So that's fine. And then I think the last thing that we need, super glue. There we go. So that should be everything that we need to make this contraption happen. So what I want to do first is I am going to need some temporary blocks. So I'm just going to use some dirt. So for that, we are just going to pop that there. And this is going to be where our harvesters are going to go. So our harvesters are just going to go on the end there and replace all of that with girders, because I think girders look really nice. There we go. Perfect. And then all we need to do is figure out how far we want this to travel. So it needs to travel from here all the way along to here and then come back. So I'm just going to tunnel all the way back until we hit the start, just to make this a little bit easier. There we go. So now that we're here, what we can do is we can actually start assembling our contraption so that it works both ways. So if we just pop a cart assembler on there real quick, And what I want to do is I want to put our minecart in there, chuck a girder on there. And then as long as we super glue this all together, then it should work. So we want our cart assembler right on this rail here, and then we want our minecart right underneath it, and then we just want to pop a girder in there. And then what we want to make sure that we do is lock the rotation, because if we don't lock this rotation, it is going to break. Yes! Okay, it's all working. Right, so now we should be able to just pop the other redstone link down. We'll just pop it here for now. Fill it with the baked potatoes. And then it needs a lever. So where have I put my lever? There it is. So now all we need is a lever, and we can send this on its way. And then if we let that go, it should just stop and turn back into a solid object. And while it is a solid object, it should stop here so that we can collect the harvest through the portable storage interface. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and grab some carrots and potatoes. We're just going to let them grow. And then we will do our first harvest and see what we can collect. And while these are growing, I'll get the storage actually set up for this place. There we go. And now that that is done, we have one more carrot that we can place there. Once these are all fully grown, what will happen is they will harvest and then replant. And it should all connect into the storage that we are going to run underneath here up into our little pantry. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to break a little hole in here, and then I'm going to use my free cam to figure out where we are. So we are one block too far over. Perfect. So if I just chop a hole right here, yep, there we go. That's perfect. And then all I need to do is grab some spruce trim and connect that down to here. And then all we need to do is go over here, go down to where this portable storage interface is, and place another one down like that. So now all we need to do is take this output from here into a drawer controller, and then connect the drawer controller up to our storage system. So I think we're actually going to use a drawer controller slave for that, because I want the drawer controller to actually be under here. I think that's going to be the better option. So having the drawer controller under here, we will actually drop this floor down eventually. You know what? I'm just going to do that now. So I'm just going to quickly lower the floor by one. Just because I really don't like the too high ceiling. And this is going to be where all of our sort of junk storage is going to go. So I will be 2 seconds. I'm just going to lower this floor. So I did get a little bit carried away. I ended up building a little storage room down here. We have got a little bit carried away, but this is where all of our junk storage is going to go. So I wanted to put enough stuff down here to have like all of the possible variants that we would need. But I think wood and all the different building blocks like clay, like sand, like gravel, glass, everything like that. Anything that doesn't currently have a home and anything that doesn't fit in the home that it's in will end up here. But right now, I think my goal is to get the storage hooked up just to the potatoes that we want to hook up there. So my idea is all of these connect up through this block into the storage at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to route spruce trims from that area into here. I'm going to use a drawer controller slave to do that, and the actual drawer controller is going to sit behind this wall somewhere, and that is essentially my plan. I think it shouldn't be all that difficult. I just need 2 funnels, a couple of item drains, and a drawer controller and a drawer controller slave, and then I should be good because I have a lot of spruce trims. So I'm going to go and collect up a drawer controller and a drawer controller slave. And with that, we should be good to go. So that should be both drawer controller slave, drawer controller. So now we should be able to get everything hooked up. So right out of the back of here, we want to go out. So we need to take a funnel out into item drains, into another funnel. And then I think this will break us through. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So what we need is our brass funnels. We need one on there, and then we need our 2 item drains, and then we need a drawer controller slave on this block here. And then from there, this side of the contraption is actually completed, so we can leave that be. Yeah, this part of the contraption is actually 100% finished, and we can now block that back up and head on back down into our storage system. So for the rest, I think what we're going to do is have a drawer controller here. So that's going to be where our drawer controller goes. I'll pop that in at the end, actually. Until then, we just need to hook up this drawer controller slave with spruce trim. So that should actually be everything sorted for the storage system. So we have 141 potatoes and 0 carrot. So let's go and send this out for a harvest. Okay, so it did what it meant to do. It kind of had a little bit of a hiccup when it was trying to, you know, send out the items, and I'm going to the wrong place. But that should now 160 and 3. Oh, that doesn't seem right. Oh, it needs to be a contraption before it'll move. Okay, that's fine. So now we can stop it because it has emptied. 347 and 55. That's much more aligned with what I thought was going to happen. But our storage system does work. Our storage system is working. It is in place and our crops are being harvested. We now have automated carrots and potatoes. So that actually solves one of our food problems, and excitingly, we can tick it off on our clipboard. Let me just plant up the rest of these carrots. Oh, we're 1 short. But if we have a look at our clipboard of things that we need to do, potato supply. So we have actually completed everything that we set out to do this episode right at the start, but we're not done for today. No. Today is not done yet. This episode has a couple more things that need doing. So, one of those things is there's no point having this beautiful crop farm if we're not going to have anything around it. So we want to build a little greenhouse out the back here, just to keep our carrots and potatoes safe and harvestable and ready and warm and protected from crows. So definitely we want to look at getting something built around here for sure. Oh, actually, you know what? The elevator can wait till next episode. I want to do the interior of the house because I do want to get rid of our tent. So that's going to be a plan. So I'm just going to go and grab a few blocks so that I can start building the greenhouse. And then once we've done that, we'll do the interior of the house. We're going to be heavily focused on this sort of area this episode, I think. It seems like a good plan to me. We built the house. We might as well finish it this episode. No point leaving a half a build until next week, essentially. So yeah, I'm going to go and work on the gathering up some blocks for the greenhouse. And then when I get back, we will work on the interior of the house once the greenhouse is done. Okay, so I have gathered up a bunch of blocks. We have a few framed blocks, some dark oak wood, and we have all of our glass in our backpack. We will use the glass blower bench to make that look a little bit nicer, but right now I think I just want to try and clear out enough space. Ideally, I want the walls to be like along here, maybe. There we go. So I feel like a 3-way entrance leading into a 1-way feels reasonable. So let's figure out a rough shape for this then. So we definitely want these to go up. Yeah, and then we want the corners to go up as well, and then we'll have a couple of posts in the middle. Yeah, so this is kind of what I'm working with at the moment. I like it. I do want to do a little bit of a domed roof, though. I think that's actually going to be where this becomes a little bit more difficult, I think. There we go. So that's the dome at least started. So we're going to have quite a flat dome, I think. Okay, I think I have something quite nice going here. It's a decent frame. I think it's going to work quite well. The only bit that's really bugging me is this bit here, because you can see that it kind of, yeah, it's very blocky here. This was as best as I could work it, and it's stressing me out. I think this is looking really nice. I like this a lot, actually. While I was in the middle of building it, I didn't think I would like it as much as I do, but I think it really ties the build together. And I like the contrast of the dark oak to the spruce. They're both very dark woods, but they still work really well together. So I think overall, this has actually turned out to be really well done. But either way, I am super, super happy with the way that this turned out. It's actually taken quite a lot of time. It doesn't look like that complicated of a build, but it really is actually quite complicated. Yeah, I'm very happy with the way this has turned out. I'm going to get a glass frame door on this, get some decoration in the back, and then I think from there, we can move on to the interior of our house. And I think the door we're going to go for is the dark oak bark glass door. Dark oak bark glass door. That's very difficult to say. Yeah, okay, I like that. That looks good. I think that, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so I've just started on the interior of the house. So the interior of the house, I think this is what we'll have for the kind of kitchen area. This is all just going to be like a storage pantry, and then we'll have a couple of sort of things that we can cook with. I think I want to get into the Farmer's Delight stuff in here, and then we'll have just some furniture kicking around. And I'm still not 100% sure on where to put the bedroom. I think the bedroom should maybe go here. It's just going to be a bed and a side table and maybe a storage area, but it's not going to be anything massive. Yeah, this is pretty much what I've got for the kitchen floor. I'm just going to continue working on this, get a couple of bits of the Farmer's Delight stuff made, and then I will show you guys what the kitchen looks like after. Okay, so I've gone away and I've grabbed a couple of Macaw's furniture items and some Farmer's Delight items just so that we can get something set up in the kitchen area. So I have a cutting board, I have a skillet, a cooking pot, a stove, some cabinets, and some counters. So what I'm going to do, I think I want the stoves here. That seems okay for now. And then we can pop a counter there and there. And then we can get cabinets along the top here. We will fill those cabinets out all the way to the end, I think. Probably the best way to do it. We can have some more counters here and we can wrap them round so that we have a little bit of a breakfast bar, I think is the kind of vibe that I want to go for in here. So what we'll do is we'll have the cooking pot there and then the, there we go. We'll have the skillet there and then we'll put the cutting board here. We don't have a knife to go in the cutting board, but that's absolutely fine. We have the cabinets, which are a little bit of storage for like food and stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'll pop some carrots in there and maybe some potatoes in there, and then we can grab all of our stuff from the pantry. I still need to flesh this out, but this is looking okay so far. And then obviously we will flesh out the rest of this house, but I think for today, unfortunately, that is all we're going to have time for. A couple complications with work and things outside of work in the personal life have not gotten in the way, but they've sort of restricted the amount of time that I thought I had for recording this episode. I thought I had another few hours today. Turns out that I just don't. This is essentially the last time I'm going to get to record for this week's episode. So I'm going to cut it short a little bit. I think there's still a full video behind this, so that is absolutely fine. This will still go out on time. I'm very excited for you guys to see it. I can't wait to start editing this episode. It's been so fun to do. I'm really happy with the progress that we've made. I mean, we've built a whole house. We've built a whole greenhouse. We got the void storage upgrade for our flint. I think that was everything that we needed to do. We have our food supply. We have our house. We got the void upgrade. So we've completed all of our goals. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a like. Thank you guys, by the way, for all of the support on the last episode. It is incredible. I've had so many nice comments. I've had so many people subscribing and just so many people saying such nice things about the content, and it's really nice to see. I'm really grateful that you guys are enjoying the content. So if you enjoyed this episode, leave a comment letting me know what you enjoyed about it. And even if you didn't like it, if you think I could do something differently or you think I did something wrong, like, obviously I'm still fresh to a lot of this stuff, especially building. So if you have any tips, tricks, trends, or anything that you want me to check out, let me know in the comments below and I will respond to all the comments. But yeah, thank you guys so much for enjoying the content, and I hope you will get to enjoy the content for much, much longer. I do actually have another series in the plans, so I'm keeping that one a little bit secret for now. So I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I will let you guys know that the first episode will be coming out a couple of days after episode 6 of this series. I've planned it out, so it's 2 weeks away from Monday. You will get an episode of a new series that week. So bear that in mind. If you want to check that out, drop a sub, hit that bell. But yeah, I've drawn this outro out long enough. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. We are... Jesus. We will never need this much flint.